and gentlemen, when they talk about business data analytics, what comes to your mind whenever you hear this word, business data analytics, BDA? Yeah, it is all about, thank you, DRM. There is Excel to be involved. Actually, there should be more than Excel. Even Power BI should be there. So many great analysis tools, but you're right. For CASNEB, it's mostly what, Excel. I like in this case here, the students who are saying 5 Vs. Yeah, 5 Vs. Do you know what those 5 Vs stand for? That anytime you want to define big data, you must remember 5 Vs. The first V, if you've forgotten, or rather if you know it, it's volume. The data must be voluminous. Like the kind of data that gets to Safaricom's website and the social media handles every other day is really huge, voluminous. Then we have variety. It can only be called, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, big data, if this data is coming in various ways, not uniform. We need some data to be structured, other data to be unstructured. Like, for example, how if you were to go to RCM's, for example, even page today, when we say, for example, students have been able to pass, you'll get some students really saying, yes, we overcame. Others are giving us emojis that are crying, others emojis that are very, very happy. That's what we call structured and unstructured data. Yeah, variety. Then you can see somebody is talking about velocity. It must be data coming in at a very high speed. A very high speed. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have the concept of veracity. Veracity is all about faithfulness of the data. Faithfulness. I mean, how accurate is this data? All right. And then lastly, we have value. We should be able to derive value out of big data. Just like the other day, we had the situations where people would go to the bank. They simply see how big a queue is, and then they go back. They simply get to that door, they revolve around that door, around 360 degrees, and they go back without joining the queue. Most banks were able to collect that data. How many people were suffering like that? How many people never wanted, in this case here, to join queues? So once in this case here, they got, it was a big statistic, they were able to come up with special windows and they said, if you don't want to join queues, you have an express counter. And actually in this express counter, you can even be having a cup of tea as we serve you. But now there is one catchword there. That in this case, in the express counter, as other people are paying 50, 100 Kenya shillings for each of their transactions, if you come express, you pay 1,500 Kenya shillings like that. So now you can see they were able to use that big data, to create new products here. That is the kind of value. If this data is not valuable, kama nile mnasema kwamba ile kusengenya ile atunataka chai, tupe chai baridi, hiyo sasa sio data, sio big data. Big data must be valuable. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have really known that when we talk of BDA in CASNEB, it's all about Excel. How much of Excel do you know? Did you invest time over this little break to understand a lot of Excel before joining BDA classes? Yes or no? How much of Excel do we know? In a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is, no, not 1, 10 is the highest level of skill. 10 is the highest. 10 out of 10. How would you rate yourself? 6 out of 10. Lincoln, of course, you have already passed. 7 out of 10. Most of you are above average. I love this. There is nobody who is saying 0. Nobody is saying 0. At least there is, okay, a 4 not bad. Even 3 not bad. 0 is the worst. 7, I love that. 5 average. I love that. Now, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So there is a 1 there, Maggie, we shall overcome. So those ones who are saying 0, 1, and 2, I would recommend that you buy our Excel course and get to watch videos. You can buy our Excel course, 2 weeks course, get to watch those videos like for a week or something, become thorough in this. So when we start doing advanced Excel here, so as we start doing, in this case here, this BDA course, you will not be floating. You should be having one thing that you're fighting with. In this life, you should be fighting with only one thing ahead of you. You'll be fighting with BDA. Don't fight with the two animals. You're fighting, Mwalimu is trying to say Control V. You're fighting with a lack of Excel knowledge, and you're fighting with lack of BDA knowledge. No. Let's pick one issue to fight with. Yeah, which should be BDA. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here I am. Yeah, we offer this Excel, and if you would want to get more information about that, please get to call us. Yeah, get to call 0793 555 0793 555 000 0793 555 000, and this number is huge. 117 participants. Wow, this is great. There must be somebody who has really been marketing this very session, and it will be very good if I just reward that person, isn't it? Yeah, so I want us to start with a past paper directly. Let's fight with this thing head on. We start with a past paper question. We promised ourselves 30 minutes only. Yeah, I just want to show you something nice here. Are they ready? So this is what was tested. Yeah, in December, was it December 2022? Yeah, December 2022, BDA, December 2022, question number 22. Question number 22. Yeah, question number 22. This is how they bring their questions, eh? So we have multiple choice questions, and then we have now these lengthy questions, eh? Like question number 22 was quite a long one. So question number 22, ladies and gentlemen, is all about capital budgeting. Remember, these practical PDA questions, they will be testing all those skills that you have taught you in AFM, AFR, yeah, management accounting like budgets, etc. But now you'll be doing everything in Excel. In BDA, you will not be able to carry a pen and a paper. No. You will be doing everything in Excel. And that is why I told you, you need to be very good with this Excel. How do you become very good with this Excel? Buying our course, advanced Excel course, just videos and get to follow. And then number two, you need to buy a laptop of your own. If you remember very well, if you go to a driving school and then it happens that you've got no vehicle, you will forget driving skills almost immediately, because driving is something that needs you to be practicing. Yeah, you have to really get a gadget to use here. The same case with this Excel. If you're going to buy our course and you don't have a computer or even attend this BD, like I've seen a couple of few students, of course, yeah, they join BD without a computer, you're wasting your time. You will need to invest like 30,000 shillings, 40,000 shillings, get a good machine that will be able to serve you over this semester and beyond, and beyond. So like this question number 22 is a question that everybody can easily answer. Is a question that everybody can easily answer. What do you mean, Mwalimu? Look at this. Miss Jane Wakwa is the marketing. No. You don't read a question like that. For BDA, you shall always start with the required, eh? The required. So what do they want me to give them? Number one, they want me to give them the weighted average cost of capital to be used to evaluate this project. Number two, the relevant cash flows over the project period. Number three, the net present value of the project. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a question that even a financial management student can handle very well. But trust you me, on paper, they can do it. Pen and a paper, they can do it very easily and pass. When it comes to BDA, and I'm happy because I'm seeing a few students of BDA who did BDA last semester here. Yeah, when it comes to BDA, I don't know whether it is doing this in Excel. If there's a paper I normally see so many people sweating, it is this BDA. So many ninjas sweat while doing this BDA. So it's an easy question, but because you're doing everything in a computerized environment, it scares very, very many people. Yeah, so then let's read this pretty fast. I'm not going to do the whole question. I just want to test your Excel skills a little bit here and there. And then, of course, take this opportunity to welcome all of you. Miss Jane Wakwa is the marketing director of Vuma Limited, a company that makes and sells electronic devices. The company is considering the launch of a new mobile phone model branded Trex. I should have made this a bit bigger. Yeah. So branded tracks. The available data is not fully reliable, though Jane still feels that she can make a recommendation on whether or not to launch tracks. Additional information, tracks is estimated to have a shelf life of 5 years, commencing 2023. Tracks will require the purchase of a machine at a cost of 100 million at the end of year 2022, after which the machine will be sold for a whole 20 million. So the scrap value is 20 million at the end of the 5th year. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically, as I read this as a finance scholar, I'm aware that they would want me to calculate what year depreciation there. The selling price and cost structure of tracks for the year 2023 will be expected with expected inflation factors are as follows. You can see these inflation factors here. So selling price is 5,000. Material cost, ladies and gentlemen, 2,000. Direct labor, you can see here 1,000. In incremental fixed cost, you can see 500, like that. Yeah, and then of course you can see the rate of inflation being applied there. But today I would want us to ignore even this inflation just for purpose of simplifying our things. We shall not even talk about this inflation totally for today because I'm only going to take the next 10 minutes with you here. All right. The company is eligible for capital allowances. Remember, capital allowances in finance, this is depreciation at the rate of 25% on reducing balance. At the end of the project, when the machine is sold, any gain or loss on disposal will be considered for tax. This is really very, very important. That when you sell and then you realize a profit, a gain on disposal, you shall tax it. Yeah, very, very important. And of course, if it's a loss, then you shall be able to get some waivers there. The tax rate on income and capital allowance is at the rate of 30% per annum. Assume that the tax for a given period is paid in the same year. The project will require an investment in working capital of 20 million, which will be increasing by 5 million at the end of each year to cater for general inflation. The whole amount together with the periodic increase will, however, revert at the end of the project. That is working capital. Remember, very easy. Experience has shown that the demand for the new product is not exactly known in year one, but tends to be stable thereafter. Jane has come up with the following estimates of demand. So you can see demand for 2023. They don't know the exact quantity that will be demanded in 2023. It could either be 40,000, 30,000, or 10,000 with the following probabilities. So when I see probability and I see these expected sales, yeah, when I see this probability and the quantity, of course, I know at the end of the day, I'll be required to incorporate the risk into the values. I'll be required here to multiply. So that's why you can see when the examiner was giving you this. I don't know whether it was intentional. 30% of 40,000 is 12,000. 40% of 30,000 is 12,000. 30% of this, so that now to get the expected quantity for 2023, we shall add the three numbers. All right. Jane expects an initial increase in demand in year 2024 of 25, then a decline of 50% in 2025. This level will remain the same till the end of the project. Vuma Limited has a real WACC of 8% and a general inflation is expected to be 4%. Due to the risk of the project, Jane feels that the relevant nominal WACC should be increased by what year? 3%. So they want us to give them number one, the weighted average cost of capital. This is very easy. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what I will do to be able to get this WACC, first of all, I can see they have given me real cost of capital, real cost of capital, and I can see inflation. So I know they want me to use what we call the Fisher's who? The Fisher's equation. Is there anybody who is able to remember the Fisher's equation here? Remember, whenever we are given real cost of capital and inflation, then we must be able to use the Fisher's equation. So is there somebody who can remind us what the Fisher's equation is all about? Thank you so much, DRM. 1 plus N equals 1 plus real rate into 1 plus general inflation. Wow. Wow, this is great, the Fisher's equation. 1 plus nominal rate equals 1 plus real rate times 1 plus what year? mean, this is wonderful. I do not know whether there is anybody who could remember that. This DRM Ninja is great. So he's telling me that, Mwalimu, you know what? I know the formula. The formula in this case here is 1 plus what here? 1 plus nominal equals, into brackets here, 1 plus real, close brackets, times, into brackets here, 1 plus the general inflation rate. Allow me to use the small I like that. Yes, that's how we get the Fisher's equation. Fisher's equation, very, very common. You see, at the end of the day, we don't want a real cost of capital. Yeah, I would want, when I'm given this real cost of capital, I have to incorporate inflation into it to be able to get what we call the nominal. So in short, come and make n the subject of the formula here. Make n the subject of the formula. If I make n the subject of the formula, my good students, my n will be equal to, we have, ladies and gentlemen, here 1 plus the real. 1 plus this real, I close. I say times, into brackets 1 plus the I, the small I, this small I, and then I'll be able to take this 1 to the other side of the equal. I'll be able to come and say minus what here? Minus 1. So this is what I expect you to come and really do here. This is what I expect you to come and do here. My very good students, please go ahead and calculate for me this nominal. So it will be equals to, we have here into brackets. Remember, when you want now to evaluate, you must start with equals, because now we are getting into a function. So 1 plus, has this examiner given me the real? Yes, I have the real WACC. It is 8%. 8% is the same as 0.08. We close brackets like that. We say times into open brackets. You know, in Excel, you cannot avoid to put that times in between. When you're writing on paper, you would afford to avoid that times. But in Excel, you must put that times there. So 1 plus the general inflation. General inflation is this one here, which is 4%. Don't use this individual years inflation. I've always seen people coming to use those individual years inflation, like now the ones given here. You'll be so wrong. Fisher has told us don't to use this. Yeah, if you don't have the general inflation, according to Fisher's, you should take all these and then you do what year? You average to get general. But in most cases, you shall be given the general rate will be given. Like in this question, ladies and gentlemen, for sure, we have the general rate. If I come and say here, so we have here, so 1 plus, let me just start again, equals. So we have here, open brackets, 1 plus the real. Real, you guys have just told me it is 0.08. 0.08. And then you say times into brackets 1 plus the general inflation, which is 0.04. You can see the general inflation here. Yeah, you close brackets, and then whatever we'll get, I will come and say take away, hey, take away 1. This one here. If this one crosses over, it becomes -1. And then you could be able to come and press enter there. So you're getting 12.32%. So remember, this is the nominal, this is the nominal, this is the nominal, this is the nominal WACC that we have. Nominal WACC. But now remember, again, after getting the nominal WACC, some projects have their own specific risk, which is a premium. Premium means you add. You can see here, due to the risk of the project, Jane feels the relevant nominal WACC should be increased by 3%. All right. So come and talk of add the project's premium, and the project's premium, ladies and gentlemen, you are telling me it is 3%. 3%. So 3%. So I have there 0.03 like that. So that is it. So we come here, and then we shall be able to say here, alt equals. So you say alt equals, you press alt at the same time with equals for you to be able to add directly. You don't have to come and say now sum. So now, ladies and gentlemen, this automatically will be the WACC to be applied here. using the Wakaka concept. So it is 15.32%. 15.32%. If you multiply this by 100, you get 15.32%. Have you been able to pick something, even if you are an intermediate student who is here today? Have you been able to pick something, ladies and gentlemen, from what Mwalimu has been able to do, especially on this concept of features? And when do we apply features? Whenever you see the word real in the cost of capital, be rest assured that you shall be able to use the features thing. Very, very important. Very, very important. I'll be able to share this file with you. Now, from there, they want me to give them the relevant cash flows. Thank you so much. Relevant cash flows, I know you are accountants just like myself. All of us now are operating at the same level because now you're going to do an exit paper. Once you do an exit paper, you become a member of ISPAC, you become as good as myself. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen. When it is cash flow statement, we need to get revenues, we subtract all costs. We get revenues, we subtract all costs. To be able to get revenue, we need to take the demand given here times what here? A price. How do we get revenue? Revenue is price times quantity, price times quantity. So let's start, ladies and gentlemen, with our quantity here very nicely. Let's start, ladies and gentlemen, here with our quantity here. So we have our quantity. So we write here quantity, quantity, quantity like that. So we're going to start with 2023. So remember 2023, ladies and gentlemen, we shall work with the expected demand. And our expected demand over here is given here. Remember, expected demand is here. Expected sales for the year 2023 is here. It could either be 40,000 with this probability, 30,000 with that probability, 10,000 with that probability. So expected means I take these times their corresponding probabilities. So I'll take 40,000 times 0.3 plus 30,000 times 0.4 plus 10,000 times 0.3. Yeah, which will basically be 12,000 plus 12,000 plus 3,000, which will be 27,000. So then, ladies and gentlemen, my great students, I have in this case here 5 years. Remember, 2023, there are many shortcuts you could use, but for now, I just take them like this. Tab 2024, 2025. Tab 2026. Tab 2027. And 2028. Many shortcuts you can use to get that. You can take 2023 plus 1 and then you pull. Now, so 2023, you are saying we are starting with 27,000. Great. And then what have they told us, my good students, about the other years? We are told here that this will increase by what? By 25% in 2024. So 2024, we are growing this by 25%. So growing this by 25% is so easy. You simply say equals, take this number, you say shift 8. Yeah, 1.25, because I want it to be more than 100%, 25% over and above. Yeah, tab. I go to 2025. 2025, it will decline by 50%. Yeah, you take 2024 figure, have that now this declining. Yeah, so in this case, you will come and say here equals, you pick this times 0.5. This is really interesting. Yeah, tab, you go to the next one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now from there, the level will remain the same till the end of the project. So now you'll get students doing this thing in a very funny way. They'll tell you that, Mwalimu, this is going to be the same. So Mwalimu, for this to be the same, what should I do? What if I say Control C and then I come and paste here? I say Control V. Now this cell has a formula. If you do that, you will be copying plus the formula. It will be an international what here disaster. It cannot be the same. Others will tell you, Mwalimu, okay, I want to pull this. I want to pull, let me say escape. I want to pull this one here. So the hungry rabbit, touch it here. The hungry rabbit for you to autofill, touch it here. And then Mwalimu, I can pull this to 2028 like that. You will not be correct because Excel is behaving with what here? With the formula. Actually, 2028 should not be there. 2028 should not be there. There are 5 years, remember. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen and listen to me very well. Listen and listen to me very well. Here, I need to do two things. I can either come and type manually because you see this figure now will be the same throughout. This figure will be the same. So I can decide to type manually. Or I do paste special. How do I do paste special? It's very, very easy. I can come and say Control C. Then I come and highlight the two cells. Yeah. And then I can right click. Instead of the right click, you can say, instead of saying Control V, you can say Control Alt and V at the same time. Open this paste special. Yeah, box. So you say Control Alt V. Control Alt V at the same time. Yeah. And then you say now V alone to go to the values, or you click here values. You say V alone. You can see it has come here. And then now you can say enter. So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this thing has been able to copy itself. I'm doing, in this case here, paste special. I'm doing paste special. All right. And then I'll be able to come and write the price. The price, I'm not going to consider inflation because I'm so sure I'm teaching some people here who have never seen this Excel. But they told us, ladies and gentlemen, here, that the price here, the price, without looking at the inflation, the price, what is the price? So the price here, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here is 5,000. You can see up here, the price is 5,000. Your selling price is 5,000 per unit, right? There is this inflation, which I would want to ignore for now. I'll tell you why I'm ignoring it. Of course, you know the reason, but we shall overcome. So we have this 5,000 as my price, and I would want to as tab, so 5,000. So this 5,000, ladies and gentlemen, if I say Control Enter, I want to assume the inflation is not there. So this 5,000, because it doesn't have a formula, I don't have to use Control Alt Special to do this. No, I can just come and do what here, drag this one. This one you can drag it very easily. You can drag this very easily. You can drag this very easily. I think this Excel is misbehaving, but we shall overcome. So you can easily come here. Yeah. So we can easily come here and drag this to have it as 5,000 throughout, right? As 5,000 throughout. As 5,000 throughout. Don't know why this Excel is now misbehaving. Nimetumia sana jana mzima. No worries. So, ladies and gentlemen, once you have in this case here the quantity and the price there, then now you'll very easily come and give us what we call revenue. Now, could you kindly remind Mwalimu, how do we get revenue? Please remind Mwalimu, how do we get revenue? Revenue is price times what here, somebody? This Excel of mine, we shall overcome. Use this computer for so long. So revenue is price times quantity. It is price times. So you take the quantities here times, in this case here, the price, and you'll be able to get this so easily, and then you get to the costs. Then after the cost, of course, there, material cost there. I can see, ladies and gentlemen, I have a labor cost. I have fixed overheads. Once I subtract those costs, I'll be able to get my profits before depreciation and tax. Get ahead and tax. And then later on, you add what we call the tax shield. So meaning you must compute the depreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, I called you here today to tell you something very nice regarding this paper. This paper called BDA has been quite a thorn in the flesh of so many students. Yeah, so many students are not able to tackle it. Do you know why? Because basically BDA is encompassing all those skills in the other papers, and you're coming to now solve everything from FR, audit and assurance, taxation, etc. You solve everything there using what here? Using Excel. So you need very experienced teachers to handle you in BDA. It's not everybody. And that is why at RCM BDA, we are teaching BDA 4 times a week. Yeah, that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, especially from this semester, 4 times a week. We have very experienced teachers like Oyuer teaching tax, Omondi. Yeah, and then of course now the chief ninja now will be joining in for I only come in for the revisions, right? Revisions here and there. And then of course you are able to do what here to overcome. So RCM is the very best for you for this EDA paper. That is if you want to pass this thing one term, one term like that. So if you'd be willing to join us, we charge Kenya shillings 10,000 for this paper. So many guys are asking us, why should you charge us 10,000? It's a huge paper. We are putting in a lot of time. Many colleges will be teaching you like once or twice a week, right? As we are consistently with you here for what year? For 4 days. And then that is never enough. Remember our students, like last semester's class was huge with discussions, big with discussions. So you'll also get some very good students creating their Zoom links, and then they're able to engage everybody in terms of what year. It's like you're studying this BDA every day like that. Yeah, we accept installments. Yeah, the talk of two installments will be good for everybody. 2 installments, Rose, will be good. A time, I remember it is 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then, of course, we have the early morning class, which runs from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Do you carry books for notes? No. You can write your own notes fine, but you are expected to improve your typing skills. For you to improve your typing skills, as a gentleman, then you have to really be using everything. You have to be using everything. I mean, be taking even your notes in Excel. The classes you've done only 2 classes. Yeah. And of course, we're not very, very serious. Yeah. So it's like you're starting everything from scratch tomorrow. Morning online classes. Which days? That one I have to confirm because it's the morning class totally. But we have a very seasoned teacher there called 𝗆𝗆𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗲 Somebody is saying there, Mwalimu, I'm an opening stock. Don't worry. That is life. That is real life. We shall overcome. There are those of us, evening classes here, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Then there are guys who are very, please keep those questions coming. Please keep those questions coming. Yeah, this is saying Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Is it advisable for an ATD student to take it? No. ATD student, if you're an ATD student, start doing Excel much mapema, but don't do the subject. There are those of us who did these other papers like 10 years ago. Kindly assure us that Mwalimu will be able, the way we teach this thing, we normally assume like, if it is this question that I was to teach, I normally assume that you know nothing. Everybody knows nothing. And then we start doing the question from scratch. Actually, don't assume any knowledge. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I paid yesterday, yet to be added into the group. Does it mean I will miss tomorrow's class? No. As I said when we started, we have a problem with WhatsApp. WhatsApp has been able to flag most of our paid groups. And even when you try to open another one, they flag very fast. But it's a problem we've been able to tell them, which they are sure they're going to solve in 48 hours. Only 24 hours have gone. By tomorrow morning, we shall be able to add everybody. You cannot miss. How are the answers submitted to CASNEP for marking? Again, January's Kasimu, I can see this is a ninja, I know. Yeah, you know, it's a portal. It's an exam portal. Once you finish, you're able to press the send button. Then, of course, the thing goes, CASNEP marks pretty fast. What specifications do we need? Allow me to answer this in our tomorrow's class. Yeah, even this Excel best version, allow me to answer it in our tomorrow's class, if you don't mind. How about those doing FMDA? Yeah, for CIFA, we normally join the same PDA as well. Yeah. We do these sessions like the first 4 topics are the same, and we shall be able to branch out later. Yeah. Which MS Office is suitable, you'll be able to answer that. But of course, you're going to get the latest, like 365. The best one will be able to answer that. Want Obura again? Nilimwangusha. You can see must go. This is a student who loved Obura so much. Anasema nilimwangusha, never be guilty. It is life. It is life. It is life. And of course, those who are in our classes, you will be able to attest to the fact that 90%, talk of 90% of our students passed. And you see, RCM is the biggest center of BDA in East Africa. You can imagine 90% of 600 students. When you take our morning students and evening students, combine the two, we're looking at 600 plus students. And if you are able to have like 90% of them passing, then we are a serious college, very serious college. But again, the 10% should not blame themselves. There are so many things that go around in passing. Maybe there was an internet failure in that very examination place you are taking your exam from. Many things. You may have panicked, many things. You may have been very, very busy to revise, so many things. Never blame yourself. There is actually no time for you to blame yourself, because by just a blink of an eye like this, August is with us. The very best is to wake up very fast, dust yourself up, start learning. And for the students who are coming for retake, we are charging Kenya shillings 7,000. There's an offer. The retake students, we are charging them 7,000. All right. Mapema ndio best. We pay tuweke kwa groups and LMS. Yes. Great, Jackie. That is the secret. Yes. Retake 7,000. Yeah. I've already received class links. Maybe mefunguka. I don't know, George. Maybe mefunguka. It will be very, very good. Yeah, Charles, of course, we have physical classes being handled by CPA Obura. Yeah, CPA Obura. And then, of course, myself. Physical class wanipata pale Charles Motuko. Unajua vile tulifanya maneno la semester Charles. Pole pole namna hii. Na mkapita kabisa Charles. That was really good. Charles mwanafunzi wa physical ana combine. So, yeah, we are starting tomorrow. Tomorrow will be like our first day. Our first day. Will tomorrow's class be free? Yeah, we can make it free, because again, if you have this problem of WhatsApp, yeah, then we should be able to make it free for you and to get a tester, Can you do it from any center? Yeah. You know, there are now many centers, but there are those centers we normally advise our students to do the exams from. There are centers which are known to be very problematic, and there are centers which are really very good. We shall be able to advise you which center. Yeah. For an average student, physical, online, kindly advise, Charles Motuko, you are above average. And nowadays, actually, there's no difference between physical classes and online classes. Online classes, you'll be able to follow from wherever you are very well with videos and Zoom live. Also, physical students will be able to follow. Yeah. Thank you so much, Elijah. Chief Ninja, which 2 advanced specialization papers would you advise want to do? Of course, if you want to specialize, do what we call double specialization. I would tell you to do advanced taxation and advanced audit. Because later on, a ginger, you'd want to run your own audit firm. And if it's an audit firm, then you need also tax. Because how will you be able to get audit business? Audit and taxation, they work hand in hand. Time for tomorrow, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Gabriel, how do we access a WhatsApp group or rather a link to class? If you are not in WhatsApp, we shall be able, I'm 100% sure by late at night or very early in the morning, we shall be able to add all of you. Our stationery provided during exams, or you carry everything, Jane. You carry everything, but most importantly, you carry your laptop. Yeah, you carry your laptop. And if there will be any writing materials that you would wish to have, then they will be able to give you, because they cannot allow you to bring your own writing materials to the exam. Yeah, someone to connect me to a good laptop seller. I need one kesho. We used to do that sometimes back, but we got ourselves into problems. Nowadays, we don't recommend. But we know that there are good shops like in Nairobi here. If you go to Mombasa Computers, Mombasa Computers along Kimathi Street. You're able to get a very good shop there. If you have an issue with your laptop, you can easily return it. Teacher David were able to pass very well, very well. Do they allow MacBooks? Rachel, if you go with a MacBook, the first problem you get is when you're being taught. MacBook, I've used a MacBook, very nice. It's a heavy machine, but like the functions are very, very different. Yeah, they'll allow your MacBook, but if I were you, I would get this general HP. We have in this case here, these general machines here. Machines. The lessons are normally recorded and they're normally given for students to review later, yes. Lincoln is putting it very well. You carry your laptop and charger only. Yeah, carry your laptop and charger only. Dell is good, yes. It's good, yes. Even MacBook is very super, but now you will be having issues when Mwalimu explains and tells you, do this, like now for MacBook, they don't talk of control. Yeah, so William Kiprop, Lenovo ThinkBook is very, very good. It's very, very good. Very good, yeah. The ThinkPad or ThinkBook, okay? Very, very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've been able to really guide you appropriately, and I'm looking forward to having all of you joining our classes. Yeah, so that come December, we should join the graduating team of 2026, because all those who pass in August will be able to graduate in December, and those are my wishes for all of you. Those are my wishes for all of you. Is there a center with, don't rely on their computers. I almost gave up on AFM, but here we are for BDA. The Casneb, they're charging about 7,500. Lazima nivae your gown December. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, very important. The ethics, just one day, but we have to confirm that again. There's a time they used to have 2 of them. We have to confirm that. I'll be able to have a meeting for all those students who have passed BDA. Actually, I want to send the link now. I want to meet them tomorrow. I'll be able to prepare for them. And then give you all the details. So tomorrow at 7 p.m., I'll be able to have a meeting for those students who passed BDA to give you all the information. Yeah, so that at 8 p.m., we start our first session with all the new students doing BDA. Otherwise, thank you so much. We shall overcome. Much love to all of you from the Chief Ninja. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Bye-bye. Yeah, so our phone number is 0793 555 000. 0793 555 000. Bye.